Hello and welcome along to another episode of this FM21 Build a Nation story from Bangor City with me, Daniel. It's part 31 today and we're back in a January transfer window, and as you can see, it's game time. We've got a few returning injuries that we're just starting to juggle in and out of the squad again. We've got a few players in who have really improved the quality of the squad. We've had a couple of disappointments as well. But we've also got a lot of outs to try and get done too. The financial balance at the club isn't great at the moment. We've got to get through to the end of the season where Champions League football will surely return. And that's because, as you can see, we are 18 points clear. We picked up 4 points out of 6 off closest rivals TNS in the last few games. And after a good start, they've started to fade away again. So Barry Town United may still sneak second. Connors Quay have been signing well. They're not far behind. So those three behind us are getting pretty close now. What we really could do with is TNS really improving and Barry or Connors Quay getting into Europe, and then hopefully longer term, those two clubs will be able to get professional and get some more quality players in. But Barry Town United today is our final game away from home before the league split. So we're going to get through that and loads of transfer news. So if you're looking forward to all of that, please do put a thumbs up on the video. I hope you're still enjoying the series. I hope you're looking forward to the rest of the season. Of course, we're out of the League Cup, but we've got a Scottish Trust Trophy semi-final to come. We've of course got the Welsh Cup, which we're trying to win for the first time. And we've got to get back into the Champions League and keep those finances just clinging on. Domenico Serafino happy at the club again. So the rest of the season has got a lot of uncertainty still. So if you want to find out what happens and stay up to date, please do subscribe down below and turn that notification bell on. You'll get alerts as we release daily content on the channel every day at 3:30 from these two long-term stories. And if you didn't see yesterday's head coach, please do catch up in the eye above. It was a massive episode, a really surprising one as well. And thank you for everyone that supported that. It's been absolutely incredible. But we've got plenty of transfer news to get through today. We've got a youth intake preview and we've got the big game. So let's go and start by having a look at the youth intake. If we go through to the development centre, you'll remember in the last episode, we actually loaned out most of our under-19s. And that was because at the time, we just wanted to reduce the wage bill. We had a lot of players pre-agreed to come in January. As it is, not all of them have, because we're only allowed 4 loan players per season. So we had to choose between the 3. But what that does mean, if we look at the youth candidates, is we're not quite as reliant on this preview. And it's a good job as well, because it is atrocious. We've got a youth candidates preview that says there's a healthy number of fullbacks and there's a lot of wingers. No mention of quality. And that's where the positives end. Don't expect much from this youth intake. Most of the players coming through look like they'll fall short of the required standard. Most of the midfielders look like they'll never be good enough for the first team. Most of the centre-halves won't make the grade. Most of the keepers are poor quality. We've got no defensive midfielders, no attacking midfielders and no wing-backs. So there are plenty of shortfalls in this, and I don't hold up much hope. If there's one superstar in it, great. We can't improve the facilities, we can't improve the recruitment, because we don't have the money. The finances have dropped into the red, and we're only in January. If we look at the season when we first came up to the top tier, I'm just trying to work out, we were always in the red, but we weren't going down quite as quickly as this. Of course, this year, we've lost 300 grand in 6 months because we've been involved in Europe. We've been improving the squad. And without that prize money in the second half, it's going to be difficult. We've of course got a few games to look up forward to in the Cup, and we might have to prioritise them. But for now, let's have a look at the league form before going to the transfer window. So you'll see a few of the new names here. We'll go and introduce them all in a bit more detail in a moment. But you were with me last time at the end of November as we beat Rangers Reserves in the Trust Trophy quarter-final and Newtown in the Welsh Premier League. We then had an unbeaten December, 4 wins and a draw, a double-header against Connors Quay, firstly in the league, a 2-0 victory via James Boot, a 4-1 win in the Cup, Duffy and Dean getting 2 apiece despite Duffy missing a penalty, a 2-0 win at Haverfordwest, Dean and Duffy again splitting the goals, before at home to TNS, exactly the same, they're unstoppable. The good thing at that point is Josh Thomas, Even Press, both making their comebacks from injury, just starting to get some fitness back in them. And the same again in the next game, including a new face as well, as we were held 0-0, but it turned out to be a good point on the road to TNS. Still invincible with half the season gone, and a 1-0 win at home to Swansea Uni helped that yet further. Joe Duffy got the goal. It was very tense, so I didn't make any subs. And we keep everyone fit moving on to the next game. It's Barry Town United away, last season's champions. We're going to regain the crown off them. We're going to get back in the Champions League. but we've got 4 months and our finances just have to hang on. If we go and have a look at those finances, and we want to see where it's being spent really, of course most of it will be in player and staff wages, there's no doubt in that. Travel costs, huge because we were in Europe this year. Bonuses are big as well. I'm just seeing if there's any big outliers. I mean, the youth setup is big. Perhaps we have to reduce the coaching because it's 6 or 7 grand a month we can save. And that's something I have to think about as well. But otherwise, it's not that there's a huge amount going out. It's that the league's not improving quick enough for more money to come in. If you look at the gate receipts, it's about a third of our wage bill. And that just doesn't add up. The matchday income's not great. The TV revenue is a pittance. And that's the thing that really has to improve. And it's only a bigger reputation league that does that. So it's going to be a tough end to the season. If we can get through that, we'll be absolutely fine. Because I think we've got a squad better cope for Champions League football next year. And perhaps even getting an extra round or two. And as soon as we tick into that Europa Conference group stage for the first time, the save's sorted. But until that moment, we're always going to have this little balancing act. And that's where the problem comes. Having said that, we've still got great dynamics and we've still been able to do a little bit of transfer work. I don't know who this keeper is. I think the director of football's looking. We're happy to keep Gwenault as the backup. And we're still, at all stages in this save, we've been well under the wage bill. It's not like we're spending big money, we're causing problems or anything. We've been under throughout. But despite that, we've still had those difficulties. So you can see in November, we just loaned out the whole under-18 squad. We got loads of money in loan fees, probably about £1,000 if you add them all up. We got them all off the wage bill as well, which is about £300 a week. We say goodbye probably to the first legend of FM21 in our save, which is Samuel Fanian. He moves on to Northampton after 78 goals in 90 league appearances. Scored big goals in Europe, scored big goals in cup games. And he moves on. He just fell down the pecking order this year. I'm really disappointed a Welsh side didn't come in for him. The likes of TNS, why are they not trying to sign this guy? But as it is, they've got Noah Daly, so perhaps that answers the question. £220 a week at Northampton, a brilliant servant for us, and we wish him the best for the future. We've also got Dave Griffith, one of our youngsters. Carmarthen asked for him, so why not? He'll go there, he'll probably get some football at this level. His personality's improved, so he should reach that potential. And he just needs the game time there, which hopefully he'll get. But 3 players have come in. As we said, we had to choose between the 3 loan players. We were only allowed 4 spaces in the squad. So we've had to go for one that was under 19, just so we didn't have to keep putting a poor youngster on the bench. So I've gone for the one that we probably needed least in terms of position, but makes our squad much stronger on match days. But firstly, it was Josh Benson who came in 21st of December following a loan spell. A trial spell even, I should say. 3.5 star ability, 4.5 potential. Experience in the EFL for Grimsby. He came through at Arsenal and has been at Burnley as well. I don't think he's played any games for them, even in the Cups. Oh, in fact, there you go. 2 Cup games for Burnley. That was the season before last. And prior to that, I don't think he's played any. So just a little stint in League 2 with Grimsby. 2 goals in 11 games. It's not a bad little run. And we welcome him to the club. A good centre midfielder, can cover in the holding role. And to be honest, I think he's going to be a really good addition moving forward. And the most important thing with him is he's the first one that's had a really increased value. So he's worth over £10,000. And I think that's something that moving forward is going to be big for us. So I'm hoping he'll be good when he works with us. I'm hoping he'll settle in quick. 1 sub appearance so far, a bit more to come as he gets fitter. But long term, a very good signing for the club. Next up, Ian Brooks is the one we chose on loan purely because he was 18 and he would fit that under 19 in the squad. Don't forget you have to have 2 in the matchday squad. We've got Alex Reid, the centre half, and now Ian Brooks is the second. It means first team players in the whole 18. Played brilliantly in his first start for the club. 4-star box-to-box midfielder already. Excellent across the board. Really hard worker, really good physically, and he's got good attributes going forward from midfield. He's training well, he's got a decent personality. He ticks every box, and only £500 a week as well. So we were delighted with that one. And then a returning face. Paul Glatzel, who we looked at the summer, finally reduced his wage demands. He comes in on a 3.5-year deal for £550 a week. With Thomas coming back from injury and not being quite so good, with Fanian moving on, with Shamanga being offered out as well, he was only ever a short-term solution. Glatzel becomes the new one of these attacking stars. Can play centre mid, can play number 10, and can cover the 2 roles up front perfectly. 4-star ability, 5-star potential, a German star, a brilliant player, and he scored 11 in 13 last time he was here. It's not like he's got a poor record, is it? So I'm really interested to see how some of these guys get on. I'm really pleased with the work we've done. It is just about the finance at the moment. If we keep that good, if we keep it strong, we should be in a great position. Because if we look at the squad depth, I mean, it is excellent unanimously across the board. We've got great number 10s in Ben Cottrell on loan. Pixley's a very good player. And then others that are versatile. We've got 4 brilliant strikers. Thomas just coming back. Played a couple of games, gets little knocks, but he's getting there. His potential's gone down, but it's still 4-star, so a good squad player. At the back, we've still got Badebo. Reed's coming through as a youngster. Hockenhull's there. Even Press can drop in. At left back, we're a little bit shorter, but Bolton's very good. And at right back, we've got Jack Hankin right on the tail of Vaughan, who's really improved this year. Zabret in goal got his work permit after the 2024. That was when they were all going to get reassessed after their settled status. And he's been able to stay as well. So we haven't got to worry about that either. And I'm just really pleased with the position we're in. Everything looks great. We're in a really solid squad state. And we're going to win the league hands down. My question is now, can we go invincible? Can we beat the likes of champions Barrytown United today? And can we make the Welsh Premier League ours moving forward? We've seen the Welsh coefficients not going up too quick. I know we did better in Europe this year across the board, but not by a huge amount. So it's going to be a test for us. We'll see how we get on. I'm not holding up too much hope just yet. It's going to be a slower burner than the Northern Irish save because there's less quality in the squad. There's less quality in the country and it's already a lower reputation. But we will get there. And that starts with today's game. Very quickly, while we go and do that, let me show you the few other transfers that have been going on in this league. So people like Paul Hodges to Bala are nothing deals. However, there have been some good ones as well. Aaron Williams, a good experienced English striker to Cardiff Met Uni. Ben Morgan, a former Swansea youngster, he's gone to Connah's Quay. And what was the other decent one? I'm pretty sure there was another one there. Kieran McDonald to Bala, yeah, it's him. An 18-year-old striker who looks very good. Excellent finisher. Reminds me of a couple of the Northern Irish boys we had at Cliftonville last year. Was released by Cardiff. That could be a very good signing. And if you consider Bala, they're in the bottom half. They're not a million miles clear of the bottom. It could be the sort of thing that pushes them towards the top half next year. We'll have to wait and see. But plenty of deals to be done. Our opponents today, Barrytown United, not done a great deal this season, I'm afraid. And that's what's cost them. They've fallen back in the transfer window. TNS are trying to do business. They're trying to keep working. They unfortunately keep losing their best youngsters to English clubs. If we have a look, Kim Headley went to Fylde. They lost a couple to Mansfield. It's been a pretty difficult summer for them. But some good loanies. Noah Daly's really flying along there. And there's potential. And that's going to make it harder for us in the future. The ones that have really stolen the show, though, are Connah's Quay. And I still think they will compete for second. If you look at their key player, Dean Rogers, he's an 18-year-old centre defender and left-back. He's excellent. I mean, he came there from Barrytown United, another one that they've lost. And look at him, he's a quality footballer. I just wonder how long before he gets poached. He is out of contract this year as well. So actually, I might add him to the shortlist just to make sure he doesn't go off to England. Because we want to keep the best players in the league, like even Press last year. But they're signing good players. Again, they've made one already this month. And hopefully, longer term, that means the nation will continue to improve. But let's go and get into today's game against Barrytown United. I think it's going to be end of the road after today for the likes of Coyle and also Goodrich, who have been covering the holding role. We're now at a state where the other players are so much better, I have to play them. Benson's coming up to fitness and then he will take his place in the team. And Glatzel's in today, which is going to make it even better for us. Doran doesn't need to be on the bench, so Josh Thomas will come back in. And Cammy Palmer, Riley Harbottle unhappy. They should both be on their way out soon. I think we've got a pretty clear 11 in mind. This, with Benson replacing Coyle in the holding role, is probably our strongest squad. So as a result of all of that, we've got Gregor Zabret in goal today, Vaughan and Bolton the fullbacks, with Badebo alongside Reed at centre-half, Coyle, Magoma, Brooks and Cottrell the midfield four, with Max Dean and Joe Duffy free scoring up front, 50 between them in half a season, and brilliant backups now. Glatzel to come in, Josh Thomas back from injury, and it really could be a special season. I feel like we're starting to get the base of the team we want for the future. I'm a little bit unhappy we're having to start relying on loans again. Sort of what happened at Cliftonville in the end. But at least here you can only get 4 a season. So it shouldn't become ever too much of a dependence. So this is the lineup we've got. Let me know in the comments what you think of the transfer news. What you think of the new signings coming in. And if ever there was a time to experiment and to try and revolutionise the squad, it's when you're 18 points clear and you've not got to worry about the title. Into the game we go. Last season's champions Barry v this season's champions-to-be Bangor City. And a win will surely wrap it up and really ask the question about invincibles. Well, no changes from the Swansea Uni game and still a pretty good side for Barry, really. They've got good wingers on loan. They've still got the likes of Bayo, James Cook, our former man, Luke Cummins at right back, Papi Diakite up front. It's a good squad. It's just not as good as ours. If they'd added 2 or 3 more in the summer, like they did last time, if they'd kept even press and given him the contract, they probably would have been right up there again. As it is, though, they're competing a bit lower down in the market. And in the first half, we've had the better start. No highlights just yet. The tablet's on the move again. And Duffy's got a knock. So we might see Paul Glatzel for a second debut soon. I'm going to make the change because it's come up twice. And I don't want it to keep being about, are we going to replace this guy? So on comes Paul Glatzel. He's going to make his second debut. I'm not sure if he's better as a poacher or an advanced forward. I'm going to have a look. He's actually better as the advanced forward. I think he's a natural left footer. He is. So what we're going to do is just switch them round. Advanced forward on the left, poacher on the right. We're still actually playing with the 2 box-to-box midfielders, so it doesn't make any difference in terms of what side they play. And if we come up to half-time, we've had the better of it, but no highlights. And here come Barry Town United, though we nick it from the throw-in. Magoma surges over halfway. It's a 3-on-3. He's got both strikers with him, goes alone. He's just over the bar, hits the stanchion and drops down. But a good effort. 10 to the break, no shots for Barry. And surely it's a matter of time, unless we're going to get frustrated to a goalless draw. And there is the half-time whistle. It's been a good performance. It's not been a great result. And maybe like the TNS game. If TNS and Barry away are our 2 draws in the season, we don't complain too much, do we? We've had a couple on the road where we've not been perfect, but we haven't looked like losing any game this season. And we've got a corner kick with Cottrell. In-swinger to Magoma. And you can scratch that because Paris Magoma on the end at the front post. Brilliant little run ahead of the defender. And just heads it past the keeper. A little glancing one. And he's in at the far stick for 1-0. Brilliant work. And this time he switched provider as he takes the free kick. Punched by Barker. And it looks like we're going to get there first with Cottrell. To Coyle. Back to Vaughan and Bolton. Defending well on halfway. And now with Badebo. It's good football in here. Brooks, the new signing. Breaks the lines with Cottrell. Up to Paul Glatzel. Time on the left, he's got Bolton overlapping. 2 or 3 making a run into the box. Bolton gets there and cuts it back to Brooks. 1-2 and into the back post. And it's a disappointing cross in the end, straight through to the keeper. We probably should have done better as the kick goes long, but Dabo wins it. Finds Magoma in the middle. Plays safe to Coyle and up to Cottrell. Turns on the ball. It's a little poor run, Cottrell, but just coming back into form. Glatzel plays a 1-2 with Coyle. And at the moment, it looks like it should be 2. We're just keeping it for the fun of it. Cottrell through to Dino. Back to Vaughan. On the right side, getting further forward. Delivers into Glatzel. And it's a second debut goal for Paul Glatzel. And he's off just where he left off. It's absolutely perfect. 61 minutes gone. 2-0 to Bangor. And my word, this is turning into a very good squad. And it's a goal kick for Barry again. We'll make subs after this one. So the long ball forward is headed by Badebo. He's won everything back there. As Cottrell picks it up again in the centre circle. To Magoma, who's starting to look a bit tired. Finds Max Dean and now Vaughan on the right. Trying to get to that byline again. Overhits the cross, but it goes to Bolton on the left. It says it was a pass. I think that's a bit generous. The cross goes in. It finds Max Dean who heads over. And I think it's substitution time. We can just rest people here because we're playing really well. We look completely confident. We've still got 2 subs in the locker. So, Josh Benson will replace the slightly tired Magoma. Although he's having a good game, so let's take Brooks off instead. Benson on to the right, Magoma the left. Alex Reid on a yellow, not had a very good game. So can Vaughan or Bolton play centre-half? Bolton can. So Badebo to right centre-half, Bolton left centre-half. Ethan Vaughan left back, Jack Hankin the youngster right back. No return for Press today. In fact, you know what? Let's undo all of that. Why can't Press come on? I think that's the best thing we can do. I know it's always tempting to bring on the youngster Jack Hankin, but we've got to do what's best for the team. It's only 2-0 and we're against one of the best sides in the league. It's not over yet. So even Press on at centre-half and 2-0 with 20 minutes to go. And we've got a throw-in on the left-hand side again with Bolton. Finds Magoma, loses out in a challenge and is cleared as far as Badebo. Into Magoma again. Time on the ball, finds Cottrell. We look so creative there as it goes right to the overlapping Ethan Vaughan. Had a good game yet again, the right wing-back. Finds Benson, plays the 1-2 into Glatzel. And at the second bite of the cherry, he puts it away confidently. An assertive strike right into the corner, rifled in and 3-0. And you can see why we're champions this year. We've just got so much firepower, so much creativity. Pushing the wing-backs further forward has been a sensational change. But of course, to do that, you have to have good centre-halves, which we've got this time. Hockenhull was our best centre-half last year. This time he's close for Reed just to get into the team. And even Press might overtake them now, as the long ball forward's lost out in the air by Dean. Finds Reffel on the right-hand side. Can Barry get the consolation as Ethan Vaughan heads away? Up towards Green on halfway and back to Cook. To Davis, to Power. Time on the ball, finds it to the left back again. And Ethan Vaughan's probably been beaten here, but Power forces it back eventually as Davis crosses. Reffel's there, and it's 3-1. Poor defending, a clean sheet gone. But to be honest, we'll take it. It's a really good performance. And so be it, we've let in a goal. But this is what does concern me. Now it's a concerted spell of pressure for Barry. The cross is blocked and Coyle clears away. But the lads are starting to look a bit tired here, so we might have to rotate for the next one. As Green gets it in the middle, chips forward, but Dabo wins it again. It's been brilliant today, but Coyle's got into the box that Brett saves. We've just gone to sleep a little bit now. I'm not a big fan of this. 4 minutes of stoppage time. I think the lads thought this game was won, and it's been proven that a good side like Barry or TNS, they can give us a scare. So we demand more, but the final whistle goes, and it is Barry Town United 1, Bangor City 3, and I think you can take that game as the changing of the guard. Barry Town United will definitely not be champions this year, and that win just about wraps up our crown if it wasn't already done. 20 points clear as TNS are held as well. Connors Key drop more points, they lose at Aberystwyth, and they drop down to 4th and 5th with Barry Town respectively. So a surprising looking table this year, some of the big boys falling away, and the rest of the January window is when it's all going to happen. There's plenty of offers for our players, so we'll go and get those done, and then we'll go and see the fixtures for the mid-season league split. So here we go then. We've skipped today. We've got a few bits of transfer news. So we've accepted a couple of offers for Shamanga, a couple of grand from Northampton and Shamrock. So a profit on a player we signed for free. Doran's got loads of loan offers from the next tier down. He'll hopefully get some football there. And Riley Harbottle on loan to one of 4 English clubs who are going to cover all of his wages. So we're keeping that wage bill well below. And then we can't be blamed for what happens financially. If we go to the club vision, Serafino's still happy to stay. All of that takeover talk's gone very quiet, and we still can't sign permanent or loan players ourselves because of this Argentina thing. The club culture item has not been done. We've got to get it out of our next contract. And hopefully we can get a new owner who won't have it in there, but that's a little bit down the future. As it is, despite our fractured relationship, myself and Serafino have led this club to success. So we've got to appreciate that about each other. But this is what we're going to do. We're going to skip ahead a few games now. It's a tough start to the conference stage of the Premier League. We've got TNS and Barry in our first 2 matches after the Welsh Cup. We're going to play a friendly in between to get fitness into a few legs. And then we're going to come back at the end of February. I doubt we'll have much more transfer news given the financial state, other than outs of course. And then we will show Celtic reserves in a semi-final of the SPFL Trust Trophy. The reason this one's so important, the loser prize money is £12,000. And in the final, it's 20 grand for the winner. It could be a massive moment and a big reputation boost. The Welsh Cup, we've got to prioritise it this year. Not just because we haven't won it before. But if we have a look at the rulings, when you get to the final, it's another 10 grand. It's something that's so important for us. So we'll be keeping our eyes on those. But we will be back for Celtic reserves in the semi-final of the Trust Trophy and Connors Key in a final league game of the month. If you're looking forward to all of that and you are enjoying the series, please do put a thumbs up on the video. Subscribe down below for daily FM21 content. We've got videos every day at 3:30 from 2 long-term stories. The head coach is back tomorrow. It is a massive one. You need to make sure you've caught up with yesterday's if you haven't already. It's certainly a surprise to me. I hope it is to you as well. And fingers crossed there's big news to come on that one. It looks like the meteoric rise continues. A massive thank you for your support on that one and over here on this series. I really can't thank you enough for your support. The 2 months since FM21 have come out have been an absolute blur. And long may the rise continue. I really appreciate your support with it. And Celtic is going to be a massive game next time out. I hope to see you there. Thanks for watching.